Hi, I'm Mac. So before we get into the actual video stuff, I would like to apologize for any of the background noise happening today, but let's just get right into it. So today I threw together a drawing of two of my original characters, and before I really hop into talking about them and what's going on in this drawing, I'd like to talk a bit about the process of making the drawing. I've been sort of in an art block for a little bit, and I really particularly was struggling with the liner in this one, and just nothing about it was looking right to me, but I pushed through and just got it over with. So also, I wouldn't say I particularly draw either of these characters much, especially the way I did draw them, which I'll talk a bit more when I get into that, which if I hurry up with this short ramble, I should be heading into there right now. So, these two girls, my OCs, are Trish and Lorelai. In this specific drawing, they are aged down, which is the thing I was talking about earlier. They're aged down to their high school age, which isn't when my story actually would be taking place, but it does affect how they turn out and who they grow into as people. Lorelai isn't particularly a main character or very prominent in the story at all, but she does really shape who Trish turns out to be and her reactions to her friends and why she acts how she acts in the actual story, which I'm not going to get into right now, but definitely going to dive into later because it's my world. I love talking about it. I love creating it. I hope it turns into something someday. But back to what I was talking about. So in this particular drawing, they're high schoolers and they're in a relationship together, and this is their first breakup. They have a really complicated and rocky relationship that they're trying to navigate within high school, and their identities within themselves and how they're existing in their small town. It's really difficult for them. I don't particularly have what time period this story is set in. It was set in the early 2000s and a little bit before that, but I changed stuff around more recently, and I'm becoming more comfortable with writing a quote-unquote futuristic story, but not futuristic, if you know what I mean. But that's not really relevant. So these two girls, they're navigating their relationship and living in this small town and just growing up in general, and we see them becoming not very, very different people, but different enough, especially when it comes to when they graduate, and Lorelai ends up getting out of this small town and moving away, and Trish feels left behind and abandoned in some sort because she's probably never gonna see Lorelai again. There's no reason for her to come back to this small town. She didn't like it there and she wanted to get out, and she did, but Trish felt left behind in that. And this really shapes Trish on how she treats her friends. In our story, we see her scared at the thought of them leaving the town and such. Now, I'm not gonna go too far and continue rambling about these two because I do want to make separate videos about that, and it's still early on. Y'all don't really know any of the characters that I have. I've never introduced them, so I'd rather do that first. But on that note, I'm out.